Alright guys, welcome back to the tutorials. I'm going to be showing how to put wraps onto the template and place them into rFactor. This is not going to be how to design the cars. We plan on doing some stuff like that, but it will just take too long in this video. So this is going to be taking, somewhat of how to design and kind of place them into a template, and I've made something to kind of help with place them into a template. So what you're gonna do is, this is assuming you already have Illustrator and Photoshop. That's what we use. This stuff might work with something else. I've never tried it, but that's what we use here. So you'll go to the Facebook page, and on the Facebook page you'll go to the directory. It's pinned to the top of the Facebook page. You'll go into the directory. Then you'll go into this downloads and tutorials. Once you're in here, you'll see this design help. You'll see SSRDM16 template. Go ahead and download that. Alright, once you have that downloaded, I've already got mine downloaded. I'm not downloaded again, but it's right there. You just click this link and download it. And what you'll get, I already have mine opened. You'll get this design file, and you'll open that in Illustrator. It's something I've created to kind of make it easier. You'll open that in Illustrator, Photoshop. Go ahead and open that template. So on the template, we'll start here first. So on the right over here, you'll see all these folders. So none of this you'll mess with. The mask, don't mess with that. The headlights, you can click the drop down and click what headlights you want. Camaro, all these. To turn them off, you just click the eye. I run mine off all the time. I normally, if I'm gonna go with headlights, I put my own in. And then the detail, air filter, none of this you'll mess with. So the wheel covers, stuff like that, you can tweak with that. But how you'll change colors and how you use it. So say the nose right here. You'll double click the nose. If you want to change the color, then you go to color overlay. Go right here. This is how you'll change the color. So change the color of the nose. So say I want to change the color of the cell panels. I'll do the same thing. Double click, color overlay, turn it red, just like that. So that's kind of how you use the template. Same thing with the doors and all this stuff. You double click it to change the color, then go to color overlay. So I'm not going to change all mine because it's kind of what I want for the tutorial here. So we'll go back to over here to Illustrator, and we'll kind of throw something together here. So I have these shapes. So I've got the shapes to where they're layered on top and locked to where you can't click them, can't move them around. The background is just a gray in the back. Then the graphics, this is where you'll put your graphics. So I want to click in this folder and say I want to draw something here. So I kind of want the car to be black and red. So I'm going to take my draw pen here and do something kind of like this. Just something simple for video purposes. I don't want to get real deep into it, but that's kind of what I'm going for. So I'll turn that red. So then, and this is not showing how to use Illustrator. We'll do a separate video on that. This is just kind of putting something together here to show y'all kind of how this works. So put that kind of like that. So I know I want the top of the car to be black, and see how this pink will show up all the time to where you can see where you're inside of everything and all that. So I'll move this a little bit. So I know I want the top of the car to be black, so I'll put some black in here. that. So I now have somewhat of a little shape here. I'm gonna put a little outline on this. Just offset path. 125, turn that white. Same thing here. And then again, this design doesn't really matter. It's just something to try to show y'all kind of how this works. So, what I'm gonna do now is I've got some of this. I'm gonna just use these as numbers and stuff. So I'm gonna use this SSR logo as a number. So I'm just gonna shrink that down. Put that somewhere in here like this. Then I'm gonna create a copy, drag it down here and use it for this side as well. Something kind of like that. Then I'm gonna grab this image, bring it down, put it somewhere on the quarter back here. Or probably kind of like that. Something kind of like that. So I have this. So say I have this done. Well, let's put something on those two for demonstration. So let's say we go something similar to this. So I'm going to adjust this to where it don't fade over into the nose. Put that there. Turn this red. So now we have something kind of like this. So I'm going to bring this logo up, bring the front, I'm going to change this red a little bit. So something similar to that, and then I'll put some white on this just like the others. Do 0.125 on that too. Something similar to that. So once we have all this like we like it, then I can take and say I want to put this on the door of the car. So I'm just going to grab this, grab all of it, drag it down into my Photoshop on my taskbar. I'll drop it straight into Photoshop. So once it's in there, I'll come right here, somewhere about like that probably. So once I have that, I'm going to make sure on this right side over here, I'm going to find it and I'm going to drag it down in this layers folder to where it's right above where it's going. So I'm putting this on the door, so I'm going to drag it right across the door right there. So, and then the colors will kind of get funky. You need to make sure in Photoshop that down here you're on, let's see, where is it here? Color settings. So I just clicked auto color on that, but in the file you should be able to make sure you're in RGB or CMYK. I like to, RGB looks better, but try to design in CMYK, because if not, when you convert it into rFactor, it's going to convert it into CMYK and look kind of trashy, so just keep that in mind. So to do that, you'll just go up here to image mode and put it in CMYK. And you'll just hit merge. You can design in RGB if you want. I'm just going to put it CMYK for the sake of this video. And see, that kind of messed my colors up. So what I'm going to do is, if you use this magic wand, you can select this red and go up here and drag this red in there. We'll just go with this red for now, for the sake of time. But I'm going to change this layer a little bit. So if you ever want to change the size of it, just hit Control T and that'll bring this up, and you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do. So we'll go back to Illustrator. I'm going to copy my right side, bring that down into Photoshop and drop it. So that one, we'll want to make sure we find it. It helps if you click on doors before you drag it in, so then you don't have to do all this moving. I always forget to do it, so I just drag it down. So I need to drag this all the way down to right here. And then I can click and move it around somewhere right in there. Then I'm going to go over here to image and just make sure everything matches and hit auto color. Then move it a little bit, somewhere right there. Now I'm going to go grab the hood. I'm going to go back to Photoshop and I'm going to click on hood so it knows where I want to bring it in at. It already placed it right on the hood, so I'm going to go somewhere right in here. I'm going to go up to image, auto color, and that'll fix all the coloring. Okay, so, and then once you're in here, like if I want to come over here and design something, we use these here for like placing the body so you can size everything in the doors. But like if you want to put spoiler stickers on and all this stuff, like these boxes, you can put stuff on them and it'll display in R-Factor. So like the deck, if you want to put a sticker here, just make sure anytime you put a sticker, you're under this detail folder. Somewhere in here it'll say detail. So if you're over, like if you're above detail, it will not show the rivets and stuff. So make sure you're under that. And then all these, like if you don't know what these boxes are, like if you'll find, say, spoiler front, so there's two spoilers. How you know which one's the front is you'll go right here, double click spoiler front, change the color, say go pink, just do red. So we know that the top one is spoiler front. So that's how you can kind of find stuff in here. Just go in here and change the color of it, then you'll kind of know where it's at. But say I wanted to join something, or say I wanted to put something on the spoiler. So say I wanted to put this on the spoiler. I'll change it white. I like to design in Illustrator. You can design in Photoshop too if you want. I just like to use Illustrator because it's easier for me. Photoshop's a little difficult when it comes to designing vectors and wraps and stuff like that. So I'll just drag this in. I designed it in here. I'll drag it into Photoshop just like I done the rest. Just drag it straight up here. So say I want to resize it. Just size it down, and see right now it's proportionate, like it's going the same distance everywhere. So you can drag it, then hold Control, and it'll let you do it how you want. Okay, so I told you wrong. You'll hold shift is how you'll change it like this. If you don't hold shift, it'll do kind of keep it the same size. But if you hold shift, then you can adjust it this way. And then control, if you wanted to like shear it, you would click and then hold control, and that's how you can shear stuff. So I'll shear it that way a little bit. So I put that on the front of the spooler. So do the whole thing like that. You can place stuff kind of wherever you want. So now it's time to save. So this here, if you want to save this, you could go save. Just make sure you don't save the original one. Save it as whatever you want, keep it. If you want, I normally delete them because I don't normally go back and change stuff. It kind of is what it is. But in Photoshop, if we go up here to File, Save, I've done that wrong. File, Save As. I'll just save on my computer, and I'll just save it on my desktop. And I'll do so if I save that as tutorial car, I can save it, and then I can always come back here and change it, because once we convert it, then you won't be able to go in and change anything. So I'm going to go right up here to File, Save a Copy, Save on your computer. Just going to put it on my desktop, and right here I'm going to want to go to TGA, Targa. So you'll save it as a TGA. So I'm going to take the copy off. Just call it tutorial car, and I'm going to hit save. 32. Okay, so now that I have it saved, I can right click my RFactor, open file location, game data, vehicles, DM24. Just click all these DM24s, then click skin files, DM24, DM24 test, then click skins. So now you've got all these TGAs and DDSs. So this is skins. So then I'll take that one I just made, and I'll drop it right in here. Then I'll continue. So now it's in RFactor. And that same file, the one I just drug in, you can make a copy of that, leave it on your desktop, and that's the one you can send to us or send to other people, and that's how they'll put it in their game. So even though it's in your game, that does not mean it'll show up on everybody else's. So you'll need to send it to everybody else, and they'll need to drop it in their game for it to show up, or then you'll be the only one that can see it if not. So now that we've got that in there, I'm going to right click RFactor, run as administrator, open it up and make sure everything worked. So I'm going to go right here to vehicle, skins, and I'm going to find that tutorial car, and everything worked. We now have a skin in the game. So if you use the stuff we give you there, the layout, it kind of helps with everything. You can design everything in Photoshop if you choose. Do it how you want to do it. This is kind of what we've done to try to make it easier on people, but this is what we've got. Thanks everybody for watching. We hope it helped. Thanks.